My name is Susan Power. I'm Head of Legal Research and Advocacy at Al-Haq. Al-Haq is a Palestinian human rights NGO based in Ramallah in the occupied Palestinian territory. Al-Haq was established in 1979 to monitor and document violations of international human rights law and international humanitarian law, regardless of the identity of the perpetrator. And we've noticed more recently in our international human rights work that there are international corporations and financial institutions that are profiting from Israel's illegal settlement enterprise. And of course, this is in flagrant disregard of their responsibilities under international law to conduct enhanced due diligence in conflict-affected areas, and also for the requirement of disengagement. And it really is the failure of states to regulate their corporations and financial institutions operating in Palestine that brings those states directly in breach of the obligations to respect and ensure respect for the Geneva Conventions, and also their obligations under the UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights, and the very clear requirement in UN Security Council Resolution 2334 for states to distinguish in their dealings between the territory of the State of Israel and the occupied Palestinian territory. We very much welcome and commend the divestments by the Norwegian pension company KLP from 16 settlement companies in July 2021. And we also really appreciate and commend the divestment by Norwegian asset manager Storebrand from over 20 settlement companies in the past decade. However, we're very deeply concerned that the Government Pension Fund of Norway is still recorded as having the largest shareholdings and bond holdings in settlement banks and companies. And this is more than any other EU institution. It's actually to a tune of over 13.90 billion US dollars. So far, the pension fund has only divested from 3 settlement companies. We're really concerned that the failure to divest is contributing to ongoing human rights violations and human rights harms in the occupied Palestinian territory. It's absolutely imperative that divestments include settlement corporations and Israeli banks and financial institutions which are operating in the settlements. We have to stop financing the settlements and contributing to the ongoing colonization of the Palestinian territory, the ongoing appropriation of Palestinian property, and we have to stop financing the continuation and contribution to war crimes and crimes against humanity in the occupied Palestinian territory. We must stop financing war crimes. We have to stop and divest from banks and financial institutions that are operating illegally in the occupied Palestinian territory.